Hello everyone, this is Ray Warda with RayWarda.com, an entrepreneur mindset and marketing blog that'll inspire you to be extraordinary in all that you do, and founder of G-Cube Marketing. Today's video is a short video that I would like to just kind of discuss with everybody out there in regards to what a lot of people come to me with, sometimes with questions about self-motivation and building self-esteem, and I wanted to share some tips with you that may help you, because I know that we live in such a negative world, in such a world that's got everything around us crumbling down on us, and it's really not worth it for us to feel the way we do sometimes. So I wanted to put together this video to maybe help you and make you second think yourself in regards to how you're currently thinking and how to get out of that rut sometimes. And it's not easy, it's hard, but it's doable. So I want to give you an analogy of what I'm trying to get to make a point across. So imagine yourself as a heart, like your heart that beats, and imagine yourself as a big heart that's a glass heart. Well, every time something happens around you negatively, or someone says something bad or to harm you, or something bad happens to you, that heart of yours that's glass tends to crack every once in a while. And that crack, eventually, once it's cracked so much, you're going to get to a point where your heart is just shattered. And I'm not talking physically, I'm talking literally, where it's shattered so much that you've got low self-esteem, no motivation, fear, everything around you doesn't go right. And it's because of your mindset. It's because how you're thinking at that moment. And there's so much that we can control in our lives in regards to how we act and what we say and what we do and what we think. And that's something that we are capable of changing. Of course, I'm a firm believer of God being in my life and everything that I do. And that's the first person or first item I go to, first thing I go to, first spirit I go to, first spirituality I go to when I want some help in anything. But ultimately, God gives you a brain, and you need to use it wisely in a way that you're thinking positively in an everyday situation. So I'll tell you one thing, I'll give you a few tips. One of them, the first one, is of course a negative work environment. Negative work environment will cause you to, think of everybody being against you around you in a negative work environment, where people don't appreciate your contributions. People don't, no matter how hard you work, they don't appreciate you. Managers not being nice, they're giving you bad looks, bad thoughts, and bad vibes and all that stuff. Well, you know what I say to that? While you have that kind of job, there's always an exit. Get more creative. Either maybe start your business on the side where you can build a fortune doing something that you love and enjoy, or look for another job. These things are changeable in your life. So if it's something that is not working for you at work, if there's an environment that's a negative environment, then you need to change it. And you need to change it in a way maybe of finding another job. It's that easy. Or, if you can't find a job, and I know the job market is tough out there, but think of it as being still positive and knowing that you still have a job that you're going into, but in the meantime, you're trying to better yourself into something else better. Whether it's another job or starting a side business and becoming an entrepreneur that maybe you had fear of in the past. Okay? My tip number 2 is other people's behavior. Well, guess what? You've got a lot of whiners out there, you've got backstabbers out there, you've got complainers out there, you've got all kinds of people that will pose bad vibes to you and affect your self-esteem. Well, guess what? It affects your self-improvement, and if you keep going that path with listening to these whiners, listening to these complainers, hanging out with these backstabbers, then guess what? You're slowly going to be kind of dug into their system and their thoughts and their ways. And that's the thing. You don't have control of their behaviors. You can't control what they do. All you can control is you. You can control you hanging out with that person. It's really, I've always, learned in personal development courses that I've taken and conferences that I've been to. They've always said, show me the 5 people that you hang out with and I'll tell you exactly how much your income is. And it's because you are pretty much who you hang out with. So you got to choose wisely the people you do hang out with. Tip number 3, changing environments. Well, guess what? I hate to break it to you, but change is imminent. It's always going to happen. It's out there. You just have to learn to deal with it. Changes will make life difficult for you, for a while. It may cause stress at the time, but we have to learn to be susceptible to change, because it's there. We have to deal with it, and guess what? Sometimes change is good. Change sometimes creates opportunity. As long as we look at it and think of it that way, maybe some kind of change is happening in our life to create opportunity for something else that's even bigger and better for us. So don't be afraid of change, but be aware of it and delve into it and learn how you can take that change and create it as an opportunity for yourself. And then, of course, number 4, my biggest tip is, there's a couple more after that, but past experience. Oh my goodness, I can't stress enough how people live in the past sometimes. You can't transform yourself to a better person if you keep living in the past. Your past, and you understand yourself more than anybody else. I, myself, have been through so much in the past, whether it's financial, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whatever the case may be. We have to leave what's happened in the past, leave it there. You understand. Think about it. What happened to you during the time when the whole financial crisis happened a few years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago? I know exactly what happened to me. But the thing is, am I going to sit there and allow that bad experience that you had, or are you going to sit there and allow that bad experience that you had, taking it with you to what's happening in your present life and taking it from your present and carrying it on into your future? Is that really worth it? We all have one life to live. So why delve on something, and why just keep yourself drained on something that is haunting you from the past? You got to let go. It's not easy, but letting go is probably the first step in recovering from your past experience. Okay? I can't stress that enough. It's really important that you let go. And those 2 simple words are probably hard words to take action to, but you got to learn to deal with it and learn to move on. That's the only way you'll overcome your fears, everything else that's around you, to take that further next step for you. The tip number 5, negative worldview. Yes, we see it all around us. News is bad. The stock market, we just saw that a couple of days ago, where the stock market opened up at $1,000, 1,000 points down, and then it ended up being like a 600-point drop. But you know what? You have to understand that all these things that are happening around us, again, are not in our control. And if we keep watching the news and looking at what's going on in this world is not a very positive world that we live in. It's what we make in our own little world that makes it positive. It's what we do individually, doing the good things in life, creating positive vibes to the people around us. That's how you build your legacy. Your legacy is built on what you're going to take, what your actions you're going to take right now that are going to be actions that will feed your family, your children, and your children's children. But the important part is you have to stay away from all this bad news, all this negativity that's happening around us. Some people sometimes come up to me about subjects that are happening in the news, and I'm looking at them like, oh, did that happen? Because I don't pay attention to the news. I don't try to pay attention to the news. And you know what? If you're opening up Facebook and all you're seeing is negative stuff, you know what? Stop looking at Facebook for a while. Maybe that's what the challenge is. Or stop looking at social media if that's causing you to look at the negative worldview around us. Okay? I'm not saying telling you to become ignorant of what's happening around you. You have to be aware of your surroundings and what's happening. But you don't have to be eating, drinking, and feeding yourself that every single day. You just have to know what's happening around you and then make that decision to know what step to take next. And then number 6, the tip number 6 I can tell you is, the determination theory, which is called what technically what you're determining what your identity should be. Well, guess what? You have your own identity. Your parents, your siblings, whatever they did in the past, your friends, whatever they did in the past, does not mean that you have to do and follow the same thing. Okay? It's you that you have your own identity. You can take yourself to a better place if you wanted to. You can take yourself to a better job, to a better relationship. But it's up to you. Just because somebody else that was near to you had a bad experience or had a failure or something does not mean that you yourself are going to be a failure too. And you have to believe in that, believe that in yourself. Because again, it's really about, what you're going to take action to and not the mistakes of what other people did. Don't pay attention to those things. Pay attention to what you can do for yourself and better. So I hope some of these tips kind of touched home, because I know, I have to tell these things to myself, because I have to remind myself at times, because of course it's just the things that we go through on a daily basis. But whatever it is, being positive and staying positive is really your choice. It's a choice that you have to make. It's a choice that, it's not a rule. It's not a talent. Somebody was not born being a leader. Somebody was not born being a positive thinker. Okay? Whoever it was that was born to think that way, decided that this is the way I'm going to lead, and this is how I'm going to lead my family in a positive way. So that's all up to you. Okay? So don't fear. Keep going with what you have. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do something. Don't let anybody tell you in your ear, in your left or right ear, that something is not possible. It's definitely possible. It's doable. I myself always think of God first, and as long as I have God in my life, I can accomplish what God wants me to accomplish. As long as I take that step and move forward. That's my belief, and that's how I think. And I appreciate your time. I thank you for watching. Feel free to connect with me anytime you want in regards to any questions you may have. My blog is raywarda.com, RAYWARDA.com. And of course, my Facebook and all my other contacts, you'll probably see on the screen. I'll have it down there below. Have a wonderful day, folks. Be extraordinary in all that you do, and I hope to see you in a future video. Thank you very much.